everyone, Alex Mitz back with another Camtasia tutorial, and you'll notice that I have two programs open today. I've got Camtasia on the left and PowerPoint on the right. You could probably do this with Google Slides as well, but I figure most of us have PowerPoint, so I'm going to run with that. It's a brand new slide, and a quick way to get rid of this. I haven't found a way to default remove title and subtitle. Control A, delete, gets rid of your default elements that you probably never really need. From here, I'm going to insert a shape. And instead of a regular rectangle, I'm going to insert a rectangle with rounded corners. Now, this is fun with media mats again, so I figure a cool idea would be like a loading bar. And that's why we're doing the rounded rectangle. I'm going to extend this out to some arbitrary size, but I'm going to use this little circular orange-yellow handle here to turn it into what I like to call a thermometer shape. I'm going to select it. Going to change the fill color. You could probably do it to no fill, but I'm going to do it to white just in case. Shape outline, I want it to be black, and I think it could benefit from being a little thicker, maybe 3 points. Now from here, I'm going to save this shape by clicking and then right-clicking and then saving as picture. I'm going to call it picture1.png, and I do want it to be a portable network graphic because I want it to be transparent on my Camtasia background. Now I'm going to take this same picture and I'm going to fill it with something. I'll fill it with yellow because that's a good loading bar color in my opinion. It doesn't really matter, whatever aligns with your brand. And I'm going to do that same process. I'm going to save this again. I'm going to call it picture 2, which PowerPoint very conveniently labels for me already since I already saved picture 1. And we're done with PowerPoint, so let's hop into Camtasia. Maximize this, and I'm going to bring in both pictures into my media bin. Now I'm going to drop these both in my timeline, and I'm going to change this back to normal resolution if it's not already. Okay. Now, if I'm doing this correctly, I'm going to put the finished version on top and the starting state on the bottom, and I need a layer on top to be the matte layer. From here, we play with media mats like we normally do. We're going to drop in some sort of shape that's going to act as our cover. Let's do white, and we are going to cover this whole thing. Go to Visual Effects, go to Media Matte, drop it on the white, and we're going to do Alpha Invert. So now we have our, white at the bottom. We have our finished version, which is being concealed essentially, and we're going to animate this like we did the last time. So I'm going to go somewhere in the middle of my media mat. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Shift A for custom animation, and I want the ending result to be fully loaded. Let's kind of play with our length here and see what happens. All right, and I kind of like that easing effect too. If you need a different sort of effect style, you can select your animation, right-click it, and choose which type of easing you want. I like the, exponential in and out, so it kind of starts slow, ramps up, and then slows down at the end. Another thing that you could possibly do is maybe add an extra point in the middle here. So by selecting your animation, maybe about halfway through, actually I take that back. Let's go ahead and shorten this up a bit. Let's add a second animation here, but let's make this one only about halfway loaded. Let's start this over. Make this about halfway loaded. Go through, maybe add another animation here and butt it up against the other one, but make it longer so it looks like it's thinking or processing. We're going to scroll that in. Let's see what this looks like. Loading fast. Uh-oh, we're buffering, and there we go. Yeah, it's a little more of what we expect from computers sometimes. We could probably make this even more realistic by dragging out the length of everything. So by making this just a bit longer and then butting it up and then making that a bit longer. Loading, loading, loading. Uh-oh, we're thinking, and we're still loading, and we're almost done, and boom. That's usually how most loading bars go, even though that's probably not how loading actually works. But that's a really interesting effect that we can drop in using media mats. One last bonus tip, let's go ahead and group it all. So now that it's grouped and we have this whole animation here, We can make this singular element part of a larger project. We can shrink it a bit and put it in the corner if we want to do a loading effect with other graphics going on the screen here. And we have now created some sort of loading bar element, and we can add it to our library. We can do whatever we want. But I figured this is kind of a cool idea for media mats. It may have been more impressive if I had left it transparent and not white on that initial shape. But, the sky's the limit. This is really meant to just inspire some ideas and get you creating in Camtasia. So if you have any questions, let me know. And if not, I hope this has bestowed some knowledge upon you that you didn't have before.